Hi friends, 30 inks, 30 days. I have a messy desk and pens everywhere, ink all over the place, and no plan for today. So, it's the usual day. Today's the 15th. Let us look at yesterday's splat, which was cat. Nope. Cute. I liked this one. You know, of the three, I do enjoy, of the last three, because they're all blues with sparklies, I do enjoy this one the most on the page, at least at night, because it's just that little bit brighter. It's actually pretty similar to Ice Rink. Like if you added shimmer to Ice Rink. But that was ooh, look at the back. That was yesterday. We're moving on. And I think since this is on my desk waiting for me to get into it, absorbing the sun and probably being bleached by it, great job, Maria, great job, is Giant Pacific Octopus by the Wet Pen. Man, I saw an in search of or willing to buy on a popular website that I go to when I have nothing else to do. For samples of his inks. I was like, oh, hold on. I'll get them to you. Look at this lovely blue week. Turn the page on it. We got to pick a pen for this. It's basically brown. I love the way I say that. Brown. Because we know how much I love that. My catch-all pen for, like, I don't know what pen to use is basically my Lamy Vista. Or my Vaco Percao, which is, I think, in here. Oh, yeah. I remember now what happened to one of my pens. In a dream, it broke and there was ink everywhere. It was my VAC 700. Anyway, sorry. I couldn't remember. So the thing is, we don't actually have to do a swatch for Giant Pacific Octopus. We don't have to do one of the cards because I already did it. Why does this ink bring me joy? Well, it's new. New things are always joyful until you experience them and they might disappoint you. Sometimes I learned that fairly young. I bought a Polaroid camera. I was, I don't know, 10 or 11 or something. I rode my bike down to the service merchandise and bought a cute little Polaroid camera. It was really cute. I think it's the same model that they basically have the Lego setup. And I really wanted it and had to have it. And so I went and bought it. And that is when, after buying it, I discovered that photos cost $1 a piece, which was quite expensive for my young budget. And it was not immediate regret, but almost immediate regret. Because it's a lot. To buy 2 packs of film was the same as the cost of like a Game Boy cartridge. And I ask you, how could you make that choice? Anyway, ever since then, that was the event that told me, Maria, you have to consider your purchases for longer and do research. And I've probably taken it to an extreme. But it has served me well. So I know you're looking at this color and saying, what? How is this a Maria choice? Well, for one, I like supporting Matthew with the wet pen. But for two, before the sun got at this one, it's decidedly more purple on Aerofil and Cosmo Air paper. So, you know. And I only have the 2 brown inks. This in Cacao do Brasil. And Cacao do Brasil is a cooler brown. This is the wet pen. Giant Pacific Octopus. Now, the other reason I like this is I read a fantastic book, Remarkably Bright Creatures, about an octopus, sort of. You know, I read it. It was an audiobook, and I thought it was well done. I cried. Not that surprising, I cry in books, not infrequently. Speaking of, my goodness, years ago, I got a used copy of a mass market paperback of The Name of the Rose. It was falling apart, and I was like, I'm going to read this book. I don't remember why it came across my radar. I think the idea of a mystery set in abbey in the 1300s was like, this is a little bit Brother Cadfael, isn't it? It is not a little bit Brother Cadfael. Friends, it is really not. It is a dense tome full of, I forget what they're called. I want to say solipsis, but that's not right. Anyway, it's got a bunch of Latin in it. It will have random German in it. Well, it feels random to me as somebody who doesn't speak German, but one of the characters is from Austria, so, you know. But, like, y'all, this book is so dense. For years, I would, like, pick it up, put it down, pick it up, put it down. I finally finished that thing. And you know what? I wouldn't recommend it. Personally, it just, yeah. Don't read it because you think it's a mystery. If you like theological debates, reading about life in the 1300s in a monastery in Italy, maybe then. But please don't read it because you think it's a mystery. My humble opinion. I was joking that maybe now what I need to read is like a Nancy Drew, something easy and light, not requiring much thought. But the funniest thing is, right before I finished this book, I'm like, I'm going to start My Cousin Rachel by Daphne du Maurier. And I think that's not the palate cleanser I want. Because Daphne du Maurier, Rebecca, is the only other book of hers that I've read. Loved it. It's absolutely a favorite. I've done the audiobook for that. I read the paperback. The cover for that, at least when I was working in the bookstore, really does it a disservice, in my opinion, because it looks like some standard romance novel. It looked like some like red satin sheet all crumpled up. And it's like, ugh, I'm not into romance. If that's what you thought of, Rebecca, please give that one a chance. It's an amazing book. Just simply phenomenal. Here it is on here, almost dry. If I chat for another minute or two, it'll dry. So I think the other book, I pulled out 3 books that I'm like, I want to read these before the end of the year. Because I do listen to audiobooks, but I was like, I have a bunch of to-be-read books. Let's get through them. I pulled out My Cousin Rebecca and another one that I'm blanking on, and Mad Adam by Margaret Atwood. I read Oryx and Crake. I listened to The Year of the Flood. That audiobook, also very good. But I never got to Mad Adam because I think a lot of times with series, by the third book is the one that is a bit of a slog for me usually, even if it's good, because I just feel like I've been stressing about the characters maybe, or it's kind of a dystopia, and so like, do I want to go through that again right now? But so frequently the third book I lose steam, but I'm like, I should go back to this. The first, I always recommend the series to people because I thought, you know, given that I like Margaret Atwood, her writing and her novels in general, and that the first two were so solid, I thought it was an okay suggestion. But yeah. Mad Adam. That might be the one I start. No matter what, I guess I'm doing. Maybe I should finally get to 3 Men on a Bummel instead. Nice, easy, light read. Okay, whatever. This somehow turned into like, let's talk about books. That's not the intent. We're here to talk about ink. But I've kind of told you why I like Giant Pacific Octopus and this ink and so on. Mostly, I like the name and the person who made it. I like supporting my fellow YouTube pen friends. Well, obviously, I'm full of joy right now. I'm about to go have my cup of tea, and you know, who knows? Maybe have a really relaxed day. Do I have anything else to say? Let's hope not. We've been wittering on long enough. I hope whenever you're watching this, you're having a wonderful day. Take care of yourselves. Bye.